All right, we're back, everyone, for our last stretch on this financial situation. So we've got the information scrolling across the screen, right, Nick? All right, and so this way it's easier for everyone to give Mr. Robert Fauzi a call because he's got his sidekick here, which is a really special occasion, and we appreciate you coming all the way from Chi-Town. Home dude. All right, coming to join us all the way here in Las Vegas. So we've got, just a few more questions for you with inquiry minds want to know, and especially me. What is a life settlement, and are companies buying these life insurance settlements back and forth? What's going on with that?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
So institutional investors put together portfolios for themselves and billions of dollars of it, and some of the times they will look at buying something like a bond portfolio because a bond portfolio is going to be a little bit more secure and give a little lower interest rate to them, but it's secure. They don't have to have risky money being invested. So there's two things that are guaranteed in life, right? One of them is paying income taxes and the other one is dying.
That's what they say.
So a lot of people don't like life insurance. They think it's a four-letter word. This is what they get right away when they hear about it.
It has a bad stigma sometimes, huh?
But life insurance as a pure investment sometimes makes a lot of sense. And what these big institutional investors are doing is they'll go out and buy blocks of life insurance policies where somebody may have been 69 years old or 77 years old, and they have a $100,000 policy and with $6,000 of cash value in it, and they don't want it anymore. They say, I don't want the insurance. So they will literally go to an insurance company, or one of these companies, these life settlement companies, and sell their insurance policy to them. So, Mr. Company, you can pay the premiums from now on, and when I die, you can have the death benefit. And the companies will actually pay the insured money to do that. So why would they do that? Why would a company give me money to take my insurance policy and they can pay the premium and they get the death benefit? Well, it's because it's a good investment. It's guaranteed investment, right? Because we know that person's going to die. So if these corporations can put together a big portfolio of, say 1,000 of these people, some of them are going to die early, some of them are going to die past their life expectancy, some of them will die right at their life expectancy. But overall, as an investment, it's a guaranteed investment. And they will provide a good rate of return on their money.
Wow, so, interesting.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I caution people to do that because if it's such a great investment, maybe you should consider keeping it for yourself. So what we didn't talk about is these life settlement companies, they're not buying policies on 35-year-olds. They want to buy a policy on
over 50.
Yeah, actually, they'll probably want to look at somebody 60? Over 70. They want. They do a life expectancy test on that. So they have a 74-year-old person, and that 74-year-old person has a 20-year life expectancy. They don't want to buy that policy. But if that 74-year-old bought that policy when he was 50 and he was healthy and he's a non-smoker and he's thin, and now that 74-year-old is overweight, heart problems, cancer, this or that, and probably going to die in 7 or 8 or 9 years, that's what their life expectancy is. Now that life settlement company will come in and say, I'll give you $10,000 to sell your policy to me, and I'll pay the premiums. So that's what they're doing. But I caution the client to say, you might want to consider just keeping it yourself because it is a great investment. I know you don't want to have to pass away to get it, but financially, economically, they can be good investments. So that's why companies are coming out and they are buying them. They really want to see people that are 70 plus that have life expectancies under 11 or 12 years.
So how does the seller fare? And basically, you pretty much told us, they end up not losing, but it may not be worth them selling it off to the companies.
Well, they could lose, obviously. if these life settlement companies want someone to have a 10 or 11 or 12-year life expectancy in order to buy it, well, that would mean that you're probably going to pass away. And if you look at the premiums that you may have to pay, yes, you're 74 years old, but if you have to pay a $2,000 premium to get $100,000, well, I paid $2,000 a year for 10 years. It's 20 grand. I get $100,000. That's a pretty good deal, isn't it? So that's why the life settlement companies want to buy them. But that 74-year-old's thinking, I don't need that insurance anymore, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck, so I don't want to pay $2,000, and in addition, I can get a check for $10,000. I'll just sell my policy. So.
And a lot of insurance companies do not like it. And the insurance companies don't like it because they're the ones that are going to pay out the benefit. And they discourage agents. In fact, on some life applications as an underwriter, they say, are you selling this as a viatical settlement? You say no. Of course. But life insurance companies do not like it because they know they're going to have to pay out.
Wow. Really interesting stuff, you guys. Well, I just appreciate you coming down and giving us all this new news and new information, because it's spiral, it's spiralical, but at the same time, it changes, it's old and it's new, it's old and it's new, it changes and yet it remains the same.
And so there's one more subject I wanted to bring up. It will be for a future interview. There was a Wall Street Journal article this last week talking about the holistic approach to people who are older and retiring, and what do you do with your money. And holistic in that you have the discussion with people, what is your life going to be like? How do you adjust to your new life in retirement versus what it was? What's your purpose in life? What gives you self-worth? What is going to make you happy? How do you make sure you don't run out of money? It's a holistic approach to advising, and I don't know how many pages it was in the journal, but it's a very, very it's a good subject that any advisor should be having with their people when they enter retirement. You're entering a different stage of your life now. It isn't just like, I'm going to quit working. Well, what do you do now? What do you do Monday morning, Tuesday morning? What do you do for the weekend? You have to adjust your living, and how do you find your worth as an individual, your purpose? When people retire, they got to have a purpose.
Yeah, you definitely. I'm one who is an advocate for purpose. No doubt about it. Because they stay alive longer, right? If you just retire and you do nothing, then you just kind of.
I had a fellow that I got. He made $20 million in the lottery, and he didn't do anything I advised him to do. And I even had coffee with him morning after morning to talk about, what is your life going to be? What is your purpose? What are you going to accomplish? How are you going to pass this on to make yourself happy and other people happy? What do you do now? And he didn't want to hear anything of it. And he did the wrong thing. He spent all his money on gambling every year. He didn't pay the IRS. He was in debt. He died 8 years into a 20-year. But what happened? He never paid any taxes. And there's a formula, a mathematical formula the IRS uses. What's the future value of $1? What you have got. Essentially, when he died, his family got nothing, because all the future payments that he got on winning the lottery went to pay taxes. And so he didn't listen to anything. He died miserably, and the family was calling me, what do we do? And I says, your dad didn't listen to me. He did nothing. So, and incidentally, the only money he had was the money he built up in a life insurance policy. That's all he had.
So what you guys are giving us is you've got this insurance policy, and you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, but it really depends on knowledge. Knowledge is power, and you have choices. All right. So with that being said, everybody, we're going to exit stage left, and we thank you, Variety Talk family, so much. Thank you guys. So you came all the way from Chicago. Man, you're the third Chicago person that came out over the past, couple months. So thanks how's the weather there?
It's finally gotten nice. As you know, we had a miserable winter, and 30, 40 degrees below zero for a few days. It was terrible.
Wow. Recently?
It was back in February.
Oh, I'm going recently. What is this, June? Time to quit.
Right.
It's Miller time. Thank you so much, Rob,
you,
for
Linda.
joining us. We appreciate it. And everybody, Variety Talk family, make sure you drive to stay alive out there. As we're talking about living with a purpose, that's my mantra as we leave each and every show. Please make sure that you do live with a purpose. And happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to
Thank
you.
you.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
And happy Father's Day to you, Variety Talk family. We will see you again next time. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Linda Leak.